for watching. Of course, this is New Dawn right about now. Yes, we are on to the interview segment, of the show. Yes, barely 2 weeks ago, the United States President Donald Trump designated Nigeria a country of particular concern, CPC. And he did follow it up with a threat to cut off all U.S. aids to the nation and wipe out, terrorists allegedly committing genocide against Christians. So this morning we want to look at what does that portend, for economy. We've talked about the security impacts of that, or the security implication. So let's just dovetail it, let's streamline it to the economy, and that takes us to effect of Trump's allegation on foreign direct investment in Nigeria. That's the crux of discussion. And yes, we have two gentlemen right here in the studio. Yes, by my far left is Mr. BABATOPE OYEYINKA, manager of Federal Mortgage Bank, Abeokuta branch. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming. My immediate left is Mr. BAYO BANKOLE, current affairs analyst. You're welcome to the program.
I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okoyemi?
Oh, it's good to have you gentlemen here this morning, and like Moses has said, we have both a current affair analyst and also a bank manager who will be taking us through. And this morning I will be starting with Mr. BAYO BANKOLE. And my question is for viewers who may not have closely followed what is going on. I want to ask that talking about what exactly did Trump allege about Nigeria, and why is this statement attracting so much global attention, and what is the effect of this allegation on Nigeria image?
Thanks so much. In simple terms, President Trump allegations is in respect of the killings in the north, particularly as regarding Christians, and this is something that cannot be denied because it's been with us for years. I recall that when President Obasanjo was there, that was when the Boko Haram thing came up, and the Sharia states in the north were actually adopting Sharia as a law. Now it has come, we can say that the chicken has actually come to roost, and the situation, the whole scenario was further compounded when Gaddafi was overthrown in Libya, and we have so much Islamists with so much weapons that came down to West Africa, including Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria is the richest in the region, so it means Nigeria is a potential destination for them. This is also compounded by the lawlessness and maybe a state of governlessness in the north, because these militants see potentials for them to do mining. They mine resources illegally and take them out, and they raise their funds from there. Now, President Trump's allegations, like I said before, cannot be denied, and Nigeria needs to take it serious. The thing still continues, and I think our government needs to take it very, very serious. The impact on our economy, since that's the focus today, could be huge, could be challenging. But because of the position of Nigeria now, maybe economically, if the government can also put some effort, diplomacy into it, we can quickly get out of this and stem these things before they become more cancerous.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, Mr. BABATOPE OYEYINKA, let's talk about the impacts of this on the economy, because the fears will this upend the recent gains we've acquired in recent times. Particularly, we talk about the stability of the naira. It's about 1,439 now, as against when it was 1,617, and the fears of it rising to 2,000 naira. So there's a form of stability, and we have that. Yes, it will continue. Naira will continue to appreciate. Should we accommodate any fear?
Yeah, thank you very much. For us to appreciate this subject matter very well, we need to even first define what is foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is a long-term investment that can be made by either individual, a company, even a country, from another country to this country. So all over the world, nations, government of nations, they strive to attract foreign direct investment into the country, because the benefit is immense, it's huge. And looking at the threat from President Trump, it's obvious that we can state that we are already seeing the effect. Let me give you about two scenarios. I think November 10, in the Punch newspaper and other media, it was reported that the Nigerian Stock Exchange lost 2.8 trillion naira. So really, you don't need to be a student of economics to understand that if a nation is losing 2.8 trillion in less than 2 weeks, it's not something to joke about. And again, we need to applaud the effort of our president. In June 2025, yes, the SSA to the President on Foreign and International Relations, that's Ambassador Shola, released a press release that the President has attracted $30 billion in foreign direct investment as a result of his trip in marketing Nigeria. So let's look at it. Let's just oppose it. In June 2025, you brought in, at least as at that time, 30 billion. In less than 1 week, the market has lost 2.8 trillion. So it's not a threat to be taken lightly. And he equally mentioned the fact that he's going to cut hails. America is one of the leading nations that support Nigeria. Not only that, in terms of United Nations, America controls the military, they control the economy, they control food. In fact, when it comes to voting, America has the veto vote. So they can dictate the pace how we want to do. And more importantly, the effect of this is that in the last 2 days, there is a devaluation of an naira again. Because investors will begin to lose confidence, they'll begin to move out of it. Right now, I can assure you that investor in Nigeria is already having strategic session on how to exit the country or how to look for alternative way out. So it's not really going to be a pleasant experience for Nigeria if the situation is not correct, be put under control. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, we've gotten from the banking industry view, that's the banking sector view. So, to continue what my colleague had asked, this particular question seems to be like, how then do you advise clients? How do you advise investors? What's the next step for investors?
Okay, yeah, for investors, and I must give you, like I said, we need to acknowledge the effort of the president. In the recent times, investors have been afraid. One of the fundamental issues with Nigeria is insecurity. And that's one thing an investor wants to be sure of. If you want to come and invest in a country, you want to be sure of security, stability. Because the security is the one that will protect your investment, and enabling environment, infrastructure facility. And the president has been going around preaching this gospel to investors that you guys should come back. And now this one is happening again. So we begin to lose a lot of investors, and no nation, there will definitely be pressure on our naira when there is no investors. That's why you see countries of the world that are doing well. What makes their currency to be strong is the economy, the attraction of foreign investment into their country. But instead of us to have the attraction, they are leaving. We are already battling with which is obvious to everybody, the insecurity. Nobody wants to, even we Nigerians, we are afraid of investing in our own country, let alone investors coming. So it's a big challenge. And if I listen to the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and I align with him by saying that the president needs to quickly carry out a diplomatic relationship with, and obviously that is it. It's not too fair for us to say as a nation, after over 2 years of this administration, we didn't have any ambassador or any diplomatic representation in the United States. So this is the time for government to take effort so that we could be able to nip it in the bud. And any other investors, and I expect the Ministry of Industry to begin to begin to carry out a kind of sensitization awareness program, just for them to know that, okay, there is already a diplomatic relationship going on even to those detention, so that what an investor really needs is the confidence, and the confidence comes basically from the government.
Well, Mr. Bankole, the die is cast. Yes, we have been labeled or designated as country of particular concern, whether we like it or not. But it's barely 2 weeks now that President Trump made that pronouncement. What can you say about the efforts, so far? And in the next 1 month, 2, 3 months, what would you like to see? Because this is not the first time we'll be designated as, I could remember we were designated in 2020. Yes. That was not the first time of President Trump. And then Biden came and removed us and reversed it. So what can we do now? How can we work towards reversal of this designation?
Well, I think we've started working on that or looking at that. Maybe the first point, I was reading the president's, our president's response, which was more reconciliatory, and I appreciate that. One had hoped that he could have personally engaged the nation and engage nations even on this much earlier than now, rather than keeping quiet about it. We cannot pretend anymore. You understand? Yes, they may say that it is not just about Christian being killed. We agree. But I was listening to one man yesterday. He's a Muslim too, and he was attacking the response of the Sultan of Sokoto. I was saying, if a Muslim kills, if a Muslim group kills 1,000 Muslims, it won't become so much an issue than for a Muslim group to kill a Christian. You understand? Because it is across faith, and it can be alluded wrongly. You understand? And we need to take this very serious. We can say, yes, more Muslims have died, which may be true. But the issue is that it is not Christians that are killing Christians. It is Muslims and Muslim organizations that are killing Christians in these parts. But now I expect
some will say we should not link them to Islam. We should just call them terrorists.
Well, we cannot but link it. Not linking it is what has taken us this far to find a solution even to this matter. We cannot but link it because they use Islam as a facade, as a face. You understand? And I expect that the Muslim organizations, particularly in the north, needs to come out and debunk and come out hard against these groups, denounce them, and make moves even towards reconciling with the Christians that have been being persecuted and killed in the northern parts. So the rhetorics that Islamic Council of Nigeria, they are throwing out with the support of the Sultan is actually not too good. It's not giving us good signs. It's not giving even the US that we need to appease now. It's not giving them good signs. Because it's like we are still denying the fact of the troubles and the struggles and the challenges we are facing. You understand? So we need to agree with it. I expect our president to call first the Muslim Council, Islamic Council, the heads, and talk with them. They need to tone down their narratives. They need to tone down their narratives. They need also to start appeasing even the Christians, particularly in Benue and Plateau. Then the two religions, the leaders of the two religions need to come. The president needs to harness this so that actions will be seen to be taken on these matters. Then maybe to handle the issue of security. One of the things I actually I take exceptions to in the classification by President Trump is that the US has the intel to guide Nigeria into neutralizing these people. The funds can be tracked. Phones can be tapped. You understand? And we need to also engage US and engage nations, particularly a nation like Israel that has gone through this phase. We need to engage them. Maybe our government needs to engage them in a covert manner. It's not something you start shouting about. Engage them in a covert manner. Because as we speak, almost every Arab nation have security pacts covertly with Israel. They track the militants. They track all these mercenaries. They track their phones, they track their funds, and they find a way to neutralize them, which we can also do in a very covert manner. We must take action.
Okay, well, Mr. Babatope, let's look at diplomacy now. What can be done? Because we know that, yes, there's a lot that can be done diplomatically. Because some would say, yes, the president, yes, he has traveled to many countries, seeking cooperation and all of that. We've seen him in France, India, Brazil, but he hasn't. We've not seen him in the United States. He has not really tried to, help or mend that relationship with the United States. What can be done to that?
Yes, like I said earlier, the first thing to do is, in any situation, the most fundamental things you need is an effective communication. When you communicate between two parties, you tend to resolve a lot of issues. But when there's no communication, the other party assumes a lot. So a lot of petition has been submitted to the US, and there is no government presence to counter that, to analyze it, to debunk it, to bring a different narrative entirely to United States. So, and it is expected for United States to assume that, okay, since the federal government is silent means consent. So we should be able to take this, and that is why I find it not too good that today we don't have any diplomatic representation in United States. If you are not going to even appoint anywhere at all, United Nations, United States, those big countries, big power countries, the representation must be there. And if you have a very seasoned diplomat, it would have discussed at that level. It would have gotten to this level. Having said that, what needs to be done right now is to immediately appoint a diplomat for the Nigeria in the United States. And again, there should be a very intense diplomatic engagement with the United States, bringing them facts and figures, equally telling them that, okay, because the United States, they have the figures, they have they understand the whole thing. So you don't need to lie to them. We just tell them that, okay, we are aware about this situation. The president is in the right direction by appointing new service chiefs. Okay, you give them a matching order that give us about 3 months, about 6 months, they will be. Obviously, when that discussion, I am confident that Nigeria is a sovereign state. So when you have a discussion like that, the president of the United States will actually want to stay action first and see what happens. And I know that with that kind of threat and full engagement from the federal government, I know things will get better, and it won't, because from the economic point of view, our economy is very sensitive to be going through this at this stage again. It's more like the president has been traveling for over 2 years. All his effort now is as if it's not appreciated. Yeah, it's not appreciated, because now you have gone to Brazil to bring foreign direct investment. Maybe they are planning to come and they have this. Of course, they will stay back. So what's the effort? So for all those efforts not to go in vain, there must be urgent diplomatic discussion with the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say that some people would say that words don't move markets, but with the situation of things, apparently words have moved markets.
Obviously.
Talking about the loss in the stock exchange market. But now, let's get practical. To the average man out there, to myself and maybe my colleagues and the people on the street, what is the effect of this on them?
Yes, the effect might not be immediate, but in the next few months, if nothing is done, there will be a ripple effect on the economy. Nigeria, we obviously know that we are an importing nation. Okay. So we need the exchange rate, and the exchange rate determines the price of goods and services. Okay. So in the long run, the president a couple of weeks ago with the Ministry of, they announced clearly that the prices of foodstuffs is already going down. Yeah. And I can assure you, if nothing is done in the weeks to come, it will increase again.
So it means that if nothing is done, we should expect inflation.
Because as I'm speaking to you, the naira is already devalued. Before the pronouncement, a dollar is about 1,400. As I'm speaking to you, it has 1,450. So it's a ripple effect. It's a gradual thing that will begin to have effect. And again, when how will I put it? When investors begin to pull out, because like I said, there will be strategic sections of investor now analyzing this threat and say, okay, look, there is need for us to begin to divest, either moving to the neighboring state, a neighboring country, because we can't take this threat lightly. And when you are moving out, it's having a strain on your economy. You understand? So in the long run, it will have effect on the common man in terms of increase in goods and services. Okay. And of course, inflation. Yeah.
So, Mr. Bankole, let's analyze this threat. Is it really a threat? Do you think Trump just said that to get us cracking, or should the Nigerians be worried that any time the United States could just invade and start wiping out the terrorists?
Okay. First, I think I don't believe that there is going to be an invasion. I will say that on twofold. One, U.S. ever since the U.S. escapades in Afghanistan and all that, and the U.S., the mindset of the United States of America currently is not to take soldiers to any other nation. the mindset of even the team behind President Trump now is even that it is America alone, America focused. That's the essence of the MAGA team that are backing him up. Make America great again. Focus on America, don't become a world policeman. But of course, there is also the Christian lobby, the faith lobby in US, the charismatics and all that. They are there. We cannot dispute that. And the United States also has values to ensure that anywhere where humanity is being threatened, we can intervene. But I doubt if it's going to be in form of sending soldiers even to come. I doubt it will happen. But the thing that our nation needs to do is, like we have all been saying, don't take it, let's take it serious. Don't take it for granted. Let's make moves, diplomatic. Let's make moves in terms of intelligence. Let's make moves in terms of everything that we need to do to ensure that this is turned. Now, I think that what President Trump wants to achieve is to keep this thing going, the engagements, and put some fire in the government to take action, which I'm sure in the strategic meetings they'll be having, the service chiefs were changed and all that. In the strategic meeting they'll be having, they will be looking at areas to make further changes. You understand? And maybe the good thing for the president, for our president now, is this will be a good excuse for him to take some hard decisions, particularly against the northern elites that do not want some of these people to be touched. So you can just ride on this. We are facing existential threats if you don't take action on this. Yeah. So I must be hard even on this if you don't want the United States to come. The US is not going to come to Lagos. It's not going to come to Oyo or come to Port Harcourt. They are going to send to Zamfara, to these areas that they have the intelligence. Their satellites is everywhere. They have the intelligence of who these people are, and they can target them and neutralize them.
But the terrorists could also move southward.
Of course, they can.
By the time
that is part of the, where it is economic, it's also part of the social threats that we may face if the US come with an invasion. They will troop here.
Yes.
Especially those that are not the heads, the brains behind them, the foot soldiers, the innocent young children and youth that they are using as their foot soldiers. They will come here, if they are not already here, as Okada riders and Bola and all that. But the beautiful thing is that our president can ride on this and the consequence of it to challenge the northern elites, that we must all take action.
But so far, would you say that the response of the Nigerian government towards this has been positive? And do you see any outcome?
Like I said earlier, the official communication from the government has not been hard and harsh against the United States. They've toned down. They have not claimed that we are a sovereign nation and all that, which is good. The first thing to do is that, except for the Islamic Council of whatever, that are bringing in very negative and, let me say, irresponsible statements on that. And the president needs to call them to order, that everybody must just shield their sword, keep quiet, and let the country and the diplomats work things out. Of course, the president also needs to walk through some friendly governments that are friendly towards Donald Trump, particularly maybe the UK, the French president and all that, people that will have good relationship with,
Okay.
so that they can tone this thing down.
So we have pointed out having diplomatic ambassadors for Nigeria to the US as one of the things that can help. What other things do you think the government should invest in policy that can actually help with at this time?
Well, since it's a security issue, our government we need to divest politics and religion from our security. Our security architecture needs to be handled, restructured properly. And like somebody said, if the president does not close his eyes to 2027 ambition, this may be very difficult to achieve. Because there are vested, we cannot deny the fact that there is political interest, economic interest that have mixed up with these insurgencies. There are politicians and politically ambitious persons that are also interested in making things not to work. And we must address it very strategically, and we don't even need to make noise. Like I used to say, and I was making my opinion clear in one of our groups recently, our president needs to send delegates to Israel. Of the nations of the world, that is one nation that has a very, very covert and effective operation against these insurgencies and militants. And we are also fortunate because they can also still move to the Middle East. So they are not just Africans. In fact, there are Arabs, there are Asians that are there. So they can move anywhere. And once they get fund here, they can use it to perpetrate any atrocity, even against the state of Israel.
Okay.
Mr. OYEYINKA, let's talk business now. So, what do you foresee if Nigeria is not, if that decision is not reversed? What do you foresee? We did talk about the FDI, and some would say, well, North may be volatile, but South is relatively, peaceful. Can that work in a way that maybe some investors could say, after all, most of the investors come to the South and not the North? Because we cannot afford a situation where no direct investment will come into the nation at all. We know what that portends economically.
Okay, even before this threat, you will agree with me that Nigerian economy has been very volatile because of the insurgent insecurity everywhere. In fact, for investors, the number one thing they look at is the insecurity. Before you start talking about political instability, infrastructure, because insecurity is key. They can't bring their people down here and just got killed. In recent times, I'm sure if you have followed either US, United Kingdom, most of all this Western world, they put out press release to their citizens in Nigeria or the ones coming to Nigeria.
Yes.
That don't go to this place. No, what does that mean to you? Economically, let's even forget about tourism now. Let's look at it from the economic perspective. What they are saying is that don't go to this country to do business. Because where you are, we have about 36 states. You are already mentioning about 14 states that they should not go there, even before this threat. So it's really not a very good time for the country. And like I kept on saying that, it's unfortunate because the effort of the president in the last 2 years is about to go down the drain. Because when he come in, when President Tinubu came in power, he realized that the first thing that we need is foreign direct investment. And he was intentional about it. As of June 2025, he has already, according to the SSA, about $30 billion.
Yeah, but some would say only $30 billion. Where is it? Where are the companies? Because there are many, a handful of multinationals, have left, the country.
Yes, that's
so where are they?
No, even the 30
Can
billion.
we trust that stats?
You don't see that. It's not
something that just
automatic land like that. It is a diplomatic discussion. I remember even our governor was in what's the name of this country? Is it China or there's Abeokuta, and it was equally attracting foreign direct investment. But those things will not materialize in 1 year, 2 years. It could be 3 years. But when you quantify it, you see that the figure is there. But what I'm even saying right now is that before this threat, there has been a serious challenge with investors coming to Nigeria. Either our own citizens that are in diaspora, they couldn't come because of the insecurity. So if with this threat right now, if we are losing 2.8 trillion in less than 1 month in the stock market, it's not a good development. And you understand that this is fourth revolution, industrial, we are in it, and people get to move with information, with data. It is not what you say again right now in this present generation. It is the data available. So the data is saying that, look, people are moving out of the country. I can't go there. So the number one thing the government really needs to do is a very serious diplomatic discussion and stakeholder engagement. And when I mean stakeholder engagement, the investors, they need to, they need to engage them to let them know that, look, we're already working on it. And like we said earlier, the investors, the United States, want us to be intentional. It might not necessarily be that they want to invade. They just want to see the action that the government taking, the political will. So if you sit back in the next 1 month, 2 months, you are not doing anything, we shouldn't say it's a threat.
And one of the actions will be the president meeting with Donald Trump. We saw, South Africa did that. Ramaphosa went to the United States and engaged Donald Trump. And yes, and that was quite interesting. So there are talks already that why can't the president go to the United States with diplomats? You can't go there alone.
It will be challenging. So, I think dealing with President Donald Trump is not something that is easy. And you don't go to him with a heart of desperation. You must be meticulous, calculated.
But Ramaphosa did it.
And what was the consequence of his engagement with Ramaphosa?
Well, I think it has yielded fruits in a way.
No,
because given the threats, he was saying he was coming to South Africa, whites were being killed.
Also, Ramaphosa had the diplomatic had Elon Musk, who acted as a go-between between President Trump and Ramaphosa. But quickly, let me take you away from that. Mr. OYEYINKA, I was going to ask, the 14% export tariff that Trump imposed on Nigeria goods, how has that affected the inflow, or how has that affected the investment when we talk about the foreign exchange flow?
It's obviously to discourage exportation, and in the long run it will affect it's more or less like a sanction in the long run. And those are the things that we are saying that action must be taken immediately, because the tariff imposition is not good for the economy. And like I said, Nigerian economy is a very fragile one that we need support. In fact, part of the discussion President Tinubu was making with foreign direct investment is to give some tax holidays. Why? Because we need them to come. It is not about even the tax now. It is about the confidence We need to gain their confidence to come. So look, if you want to come in this sector, we're giving you a tax holiday for 2 years, for 3 years, just for us to establish, because they know that in the long run, of course, there will be introduction of new technology. They will bring new technology, job creation, economic development, economic growth. So, and that is the reason why this action must be taken very seriously, because the imposition right now will lead to further devaluation of the currency. And that's the challenge.
So, are we saying that domestic investments or diaspora funding cannot even fill the cap for all of this?
Yeah, it won't, because there is no enabling environment, even for them to come here. But because if you want to have an enabling environment, in the last 20 years, this was what we have been talking about, that has been affecting this economy even up to this stage. And we sincerely, from the economic point of view, we really need to even thank Donald Trump, because he has awakened a lot of consciousness in Nigeria now. If the president wants to take decisive decision, he can take it now, because he will be able to lay the card on the table. Look, do you want invasion?
He has been helped to lay the card.
Exactly. Do you want invasion, or we should continue this way? And obviously, let's be sincere, nobody wants the invasion. Whether you are in the southwest or northeast, it will have a ripple effect on the whole country. So this is the time for the president to act decisively, so as to save the country, the economy, and the nation as a whole.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so Mr. Bankole, let's go back to that question, that diplomatic question of the president meeting Donald Trump, and why hasn't he appointed? Why is taking too long? I know for him to appoint ambassadors. He recalled those ambassadors in 2023. And this 2025, we know that yes, maybe in a few weeks' time, he could appoint. But how come the president didn't appoint when he ought to appoint them?
It's part of the challenges we face, challenges of leadership that we're experiencing now. Like my brother mentioned earlier, there are some countries that you cannot but ensure you have not only having ambassadors, must have highly rated individuals to be there. There was a time that late Dr. Christopher Kolade was ambassador to UK, and he did well. He can approach. He was such a person that can approach any prime minister and engage them. You understand? Nigeria, the president needs to take this action. Now, US. The structure by U.S. government and the Western government generally, or what politics generally is, that it's a lobby system. If you have people inside that talks for you,
yes,
you understand? Like I was reading somewhere that it was even in the plane that Donald Trump was watching a program on Fox, and he saw the issue of Nigeria, and he did his truth. Yes, you know, he sent that message because of that. If somebody had been part of the media team in the plane with him, they could have said, President, this man is trying, you know. This man is trying. If you know how the situation was before he even got there, you understand the extent of challenges he has. Maybe we should help him with intelligence, or we should help him with equipment, or we should help him to set up an office that we will now train their covert security men. You understand? Those are things that the president needs, the reasons why the president needs to appoint ambassadors for some of these critical countries. Because we don't just need China, we don't just need all this Asian government of Brazil, we need the West. Nobody, no nation can do without the West currently.
I was actually going to ask that, do you think there's a particular reason why the Nigerian government is really slow on
politics.
that? Okay.
It's politics.
Okay.
Well, you know, appointments in Nigeria is a bargaining chips everywhere. It's politics.
Okay.
Okay, well, Mr. OYEYINKA, effect of Trump's allegation of foreign direct investment. So basically, we're rounding off. Where do we go from here?
Well, the only thing we can do right now is for the president must be seen to be in charge of the situation. If there's an allegation that you are doing something and you are attacking that thing, that no, I'm not supporting it, it must be obvious. And when we are talking about obvious, this is the time. I know the presidency has been doing a lot lately since the pronouncement, but it must be obvious not only to we Nigerians but to the outside world that okay, things are doing. We have applauded the effort of the president changing the service chief. We must see, you know, I remember, I think, is it during Jonathan that the chief of staff then he said he has to move his base to Maduguri.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are things that we need to be saying right now, that we'll be able to tell the outside world that, okay, effort has been made. With that one, you can now have a diplomatic discussion. Of course, by now, in a couple of weeks, announcement must be made about diplomats to that place. They must be able to engage. Okay, President Trump, we are making effort. Now, what we need is your effort, assistance, military aids, and support. When he himself is seeing the effort, he will support. So it should be, we should be able to see it, so that the effort even of the president, the effort he has been making in attracting foreign direct investment, will not go down the drain. And this economy, I know he's very passionate about reviving this economy. This is the time to take that decision, so that those efforts must be obvious to us.
Okay. Okay, well, Mr. Bankole, your closing remarks, if you could just address the school of thoughts that believes that the United States is just not interested in our resources. They are interested in the lithium. Well, I know that we have lithiums in the northern part of the nation. They've also been fingered in funding the terrorism, particularly Boko Haram.
Well, like I believe that United States know, it may not be official, but they know the entities that are involved in the mining, illegal mining of these mineral resources in the north. We can engage the United States as an entity and officially. Yes, President Trump is also interested in rare earths and some of these mineral resources. It is something that is very passionate with, especially because of the altercation that is currently having with China. So he's looking for sources, he's looking for outlets. We have what he needs. He has what we need. It's just for us to meet and for us to move together. It could be a win-win situation if we play it well.
Yeah, but the question is who wins? The question is who wins with the United States? Even if the United States gives us weapons and we say, okay, come and take these resources, at the end of the day, won't they shortchange Nigeria? Anyway, that's a rhetorical question. Our time is up. We have to go now. So many thanks, Mr. BAYO, BANKOLE, of course, the banker in the studio, Mr. BABATOPE, OYEYINKA, and I love your tie, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we have to go.
Yes, we have to go, and it's about time to draw the curtain, and many thanks for being a part of the program today. Till Friday, when you have another set of people to take you through New Dawn. It's goodbye from here.